Okay, so today's no ban list deck is a slight departure from the norm. We're taking a look at what is kind of close to, but not exactly, Death and Taxes. If you're not familiar with Death and Taxes, it is a resource denial kind of strategy where you want to deploy a lot of creatures that have harmful effects to your opponents and basically just constrict them out of doing what they want to do while your creatures are able to attack in. And with the advent of this no ban list and people's infatuation with the channel decks, we have a pretty unique opportunity to be able to do that. So let's take a look at this first. One of the things that we want to be able to deal with the most is channel getting some big creature onto the battlefield. Now there are a few ways that we can do this. Number one is we can use Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, a very commonly found card in these kind of lists, to make their channel delay by a turn, essentially. We're also able to hard stop that pretty much with Archon of Emeria, a 3-mana Archon that is a 2/3 flyer, and this has the text that your opponents and even you can't cast more than one spell each turn. And the non-basic lands entering tapped is less of an issue, but people are playing a lot of non-basic lands, so it is kind of relevant. Archon is a really good card to have against the channel decks because basically their channels become dead cards. Sure, they can cast them, but they're not going to be able to pay for another spell because they can only cast one each turn, and this channel is the one. So we pretty much want to be doing things like this to put a thorn in our opponent's side. If they're playing the One Ring, we can get a Skyclave Apparition out. Ranger Captain of Eos is also a very good card for a number of reasons. For one, it can make us find a 1 CMC creature, of which we have 2 different ones, Esper Sentinel and Giver of Runes. Esper Sentinel is a good one to have out early because it's going to draw some cards every once in a while, and Giver of Runes is very strong because it can let one of our attackers get through for the final amount of damage to kill our opponent. So it's kind of relevant that the Ranger Captain of Eos can do that. The other thing that it can do is you can sacrifice it to make your opponents unable to cast non-creature spells this turn. So if your opponent just goes really deep into like a Mind's Desire line or something like that, you can interrupt their Mind's Desire by shutting out their non-creature spells, and then now all of the effort that they put into their Storm is now gone. So a lot of cool things are happening in this deck. There's a 1 of Invasion of Gobekon to hit your opponent's hand, and because it's a pretty good end-of-game situation where you might have a big board and need to just grow it so that you can attack your opponent down. Of course, Bowmasters is in this deck because why not? People are playing Brainstorm, people are drawing cards with the One Ring. This is just going to be a solid card. We're not going with Shieldred because Shieldred is just too high of a CMC, and we want to stay pretty low here. We're running only 8 cards at 3 CMC, so everything is pretty much 2 or 1. So the one difference from tried and true legacy level Death and Taxes is the fact that I'm running a lot of non-creature spells. Often those kind of decks will have access to things like Stoneforge Mystic. I think that's the name of the card. It's the one that searches up equipment. They'll run like an equipment package. There's like a lot of powerful things like Caldra and like Nettlecyst type things. So that's like one angle that people can go there. Here we're not really able to do that kind of package stuff, so what we're doing instead is running Demonic Tutors in order to find the cards that we want to here, and then we're running a bit of a denial package to try to tighten up all the holes of the things that we need to deal with. So one thing is Mana Tithe. This can just straight up counter a channel. We have Swords to Plowshares. If a channel brings something big onto the battlefield, hopefully this can remove it and get it off the battlefield. And then we also have Dark Ritual in order to just try to accelerate our game plan here. That's more or less it. Dark Ritual will want to split over multiple cards or just to get a Demonic Tutor plus Bowmasters out, something like that. So that's more or less the deck. We are running Orzhov, and we have 2 Mutavaults in the land base just in case we need an extra creature to get through. Should be some pretty fun ones here. We'll have to play proactively in order to do well, and this will definitely be a pilot test as well. Before we hop into some games, if you want to subscribe to support the channel, please go ahead and do so. We love all our new subscribers here. And if you are a returning subscriber and want to support the channel, you can do so by dropping a like on the video or by commenting. All of that stuff helps me out a bunch. Now let's go play some games with Death and Taxes. Here we go. Okay, here we go. It is round 1. We have a good start with Esper Sentinel and then Bowmasters on turn 2, so I'll give it a try. Esper Sentinel will go into a Once Upon a Time, it looks like. So my take is this is probably Channel. We'd like a Mana Tithe here. Swords to Plowshares is just as good. So maybe I just play this on white, get a second Sentinel out. Oh, they just pass. Alright. So we can shock in Thoughtseize and then hold up Bowmasters. Okay, so this is some sort of value pile. We want to maintain Oko, or keep an Oko out of the way. And then we will save swords for Uro. When Uro comes in, I will Orcish Bowmasters, and then later I will swords once he comes back. Okay, Bowmasters. Okay, they gain some life, but it's effectively only 1 based on what's happened so far. Alright, and there goes Uro. We now have Archon of Emeria, which is huge. This doesn't... So if they play Nissa this next turn, that's a little iffy. I can always swords their land and then kill Nissa, so I think it's fine to just play an Archon here. This is going to limit my opponent's ability to get out of this. And these are the games that we play for, where our opponent's on the back foot and we have a army of creatures going in. Alright, so Archon of Emeria is pretty huge here, putting that land in tapped. They can't cast their Nissa here, so it's going to be Memory Deluge. We might be able to just sneak out a win here. I'll be able to Demonic Tutor for something next, and I don't really know what I want to do yet. Our hand is more or less fine. Our opponent might just have conceded here. I will speed this up if that is the case. Otherwise, I guess I'll just sit here and take a look. Yeah, it looks like they've conceded. Alright, so I'll just go ahead and edit this video, and I will see you in round 2. Okay, here we go with round 2. We can get a turn 1 Bowmasters out. We can also get a turn 3 Emeria plus Bowmasters. That doesn't really math out. I mean, I'm thinking that I'll keep this hand. Yeah, I'm thinking that I'll keep this one. I can get Gobakon and Bowmasters turn 2. That seems kind of strong. Let's try it. We also have swords in case they are a channel deck. Elves, okay. Ooh, does Dark Ritual change anything? It does not, because we need white mana. Okay. Then let's show white. Is this channel? Oh, okay, so it is just elves so far. I am thinking that swordsing this Elvish Archdruid might not be a bad move. If I drew another Bowmasters, I could rationalize just Ritual Bowmasters. Maybe I just Swords to Plowshares this thing. I want to put them off of their mana. Alright, we'll go to our turn here. We have Demonic Tutor here, so we'll pay some life here. And we can Ritual, get another Bowmasters maybe. Let's Ritual. We have 3 mana, let's make 5 mana. Spend 2 of it on Tutor. I guess we can just get backup Bowmasters in this case. And Thalia doesn't matter. Bowmasters is kind of decent. It's not super good, actually. I could even get another Swords to Plowshares. Maybe Swords to Plowshares is the move. I could also get a land. Kind of potentially stuck here on land, so maybe I'll do this instead. I'll have 5 mana, which means I can Archon plus Bowmasters if I take a land. And let's get a land that would come in untapped and provide both sources of mana. Oh, psych, I guess I did play a land this turn. Totally forgot. So in that case, it's going to be Gobakon. Take a look at the hand. We will tax Natural Order for sure. And then let's Orcish Bowmasters kill their elves. And our following turn, they'll play War Master, I guess. Not super worried about that right now. Natural Order is exiled, so I guess we'll just play this Archon of Emeria. No need to attack. We'll start going in with the Archon next turn. Another War Master. That's a good pick for them right there. They've just gone very wide. Let's attack in. And then I guess we'll Thoughtseize them, see if their last card is a land or not. Okay, it's a card that we can take at least. I'm not super happy to take that card specifically. And we will hold the card in hand and make them think, hopefully, that we are something dangerous. I mean, they're not going to be really drawing that much, so I get Natural Order next turn. That's bad. I think I just need to start whittling down their creatures, because they will be able to cast this Natural Order pretty soon. Okay, Thalia. Great pick. We are saved for a turn. And yeah, we'll just go in like this. That is good. We will decide to... We won't be able to cast this actually because of our own Archon. A little bit of an oversight there, but it is what it is. Of course, Thalia is going to be good here. Yeah, so Castle Garenbrig comes in tapped from Archon, and in general, they're just taxed because of Natural Order. Very cool. Our interactions are working how we hoped they would. So they just have to attack in here. Thalia can trade very well. Giver of Runes now gets to do its thing, and we will swing in with the Archon. Yeah, I think we swing in with the Archon. We gotta start doing some sort of damage to the opponent. And we end turn. Comes down to the top decks. Archon of Emeria is going to keep us in check, hopefully. That's tough. Okay. So they will be able to Natural Order this next turn. I draw Skyclave Apparition. What does this do for me? They have 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. It costs 7 to do that. Well, I guess I have to Skyclave something, and maybe it's just going to be the War Master here. They could pump their board already as is. Okay, so we'll go in like Archon. I think Thalia is best saved to block, especially because they're going to get, what, a hoof here? So I need to block and give Thalia protection. I think we might just die here, but let's see. If this is indeed hoof, we are for sure dead. Allosaurus Shepherd, that's a bummer actually, because now they have, what, 20 damage coming in? We have to chump block 3 times. We can go down to 2 if we really wanted to. This might be tough. Okay, so they decided to go through with the Allosaurus Shepherd activation. Makes sense. Oh, and these actually don't count as elves, do they? Okay. Well, I'll take this opportunity to kill one of them, I guess, or should I just save my creatures here? I would have to trade 2 creatures. I think I'll just take this damage here. I mean, we for sure die to, like, whatever happens next, but there's a chance we can draw something good here. Well, yeah, the issue is that Demonic Tutor won't find us anything that can save us here. So I have to leave Archon back. It's going to have to block and die. Then I just play Demonic Tutor this turn. That'll be my whole turn. And then I don't have any life linking ability here, unfortunately. Does a Swords save me? I'm thinking that it probably doesn't. Opponent goes in with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 creatures. Yeah, I think I'm dead no matter what. Okay, well, I think if that's the case, then I will just grab a Bowmasters. That's the only thing that I could think of that I would like want to have here. And we say go. Opponent's got it for us. All they got to do is Allosaurus, and we are dead. They can also just Natural Order for a Crater Hoof. I'll let them do it. They even find the better Natural Order here, default cost. So I assume this is Crater Hoof here. Yes, that is the one, and opponent goes big, and we go home. We will take our 40-something, and we'll move on to round 3 here. We came close. The Archon of Emeria definitely slowed down our opponent. There were multiple turns where they had Garen Brig come in tapped. They had these Dryads come in tapped, so it is what it is. We gave it a try, and opponent just had it there. So that was our round 2. Let's hop into round 3. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Round 3 coming up. We do have a Thoughtseize on turn 1. That can clip a channel if that's what our opponent's on. Demonic Tutor can find something if we need it. I think if we keep this one, Archon is also a good card to have here. I like what's happening. Let's hope that our opponent is on some brittle strategy that this Thoughtseize can interrupt. It's probably Once Upon a Time, I guess. They let me have it. And this is going to be Thoughtseize, Veil, Fatal Push kind of gameplay. So this might be more of a control style deck. I think that maybe Fatal Push is probably the thing I should take. Veil of Summer, not super good. But yeah, they can take care of my Bowmasters and potentially an Archon. Thoughtseize lets them know what I'm up to. Maybe I just keep them wondering and take their Thoughtseize. I almost like that idea. Let's do that. If they were probably going to take our Archon, I guess, and I think this will be strong against them. We get to slow them down. Oh, okay, this is Galta combo. Really not what I expected at all. So they're going to need to find a Sorin here. Turn 2, we can Bowmasters. Yeah, we can Bowmasters this turn. Next turn, Archon. Or next turn, Giver plus Demonic Tutor, then Archon. Yeah, okay. So what happens here? Once Upon a Time? Demonic Tutor, okay. Well, we'll let them search first. The more information we can hide, the better. Okay, looks like it's our turn. Here's Bowmasters. We will start dealing a little bit of damage, one turn at a time. Okay, Swords to Plowshares is a good draw. So, is this a Giver of Runes moment or an Archon turn? So, if I were to play Archon now, my next turn could be Demonic Tutor with Swords held up in their turn. Let's do that. Plus, also this hurts their land ability. Alright, we're starting to constrict here. Fatal Push is probably not online for Archon yet. Yeah, they really don't like that Archon, it looks like. Very strong card, even popular in the more powerful versions of the deck that we're playing. Alright, so they're Fatal Pushing Bowmasters. They wanted to take out Archon, it looks like. So our move then is swing in for 3. They got Veil of Summer here, I guess. I think if I cast Demonic Tutor here, I can get them to use their Veil of Summer to draw a card. But that's actually good for us because we have Swords to Plowshares that wants to target a creature. Okay, so what happens now? I think Thalia needs to come down. Thalia also allows us to hold swords up next turn. Oh wait, no it doesn't. We need 1 more white mana. Okay, it's fine. Alright, sweet. We got Veil of Summer out. Alright, there's a tapped land. You can only play once upon a time here. Okay, and it was the Archon of Emeria that did it. Pretty strong card here. Non-basic lands enter tapped. Each player can't cast more than 1 spell each turn. That is a really good card against Storm decks. Alright, that was a very clean round 3. Let's hop into round 4. Okay, here it is. Round 4. I like the Swords to Plowshares. I like the Thoughtseize. Opponent gets to go first, though, which is not great. Larissa the Dream Den means that we are not playing against the channel deck. So they shock for maybe Thoughtseize? Yeah, it's Thoughtseize. So will they take my Thoughtseize is the question. Alright, they do take my own Thoughtseize. I will respond with a held up Swords to Plowshares. Sign in Blood. Would have loved to have that Bowmasters out now. Unfortunately, not going to happen. Let's hold up our Bowmasters here and maybe just deploy a Thalia. They look like they're on a bunch of non-creature spells. Makes our swords a bit more expensive and awkward to play, but that's fine. Well, darn, I guess we could have played the Orcish Bowmasters, unfortunate. Concealed Courtyard can come in untapped, and we get to just go in. Opponent's at 10. Eventually they'll just be dead. Is this maybe Death's Shadow? That'd be kind of interesting. Deals 3 damage to any target. I mean, fine, they just kind of wasted their turn there, sure. Striker Rich, fine. Maybe a creativity deck? Faithless Looting, okay, we get to interrupt the Faithless Looting. And that is getting dangerously close to lethal for my opponent. Resolves. Is that not lethal? They go to 5 and then we have 4 power toughness on board. Okay, so it's very close. I think we kind of just have them here now. And they're holding up a shock, or sorry, a lightning bolt. Yep. Makes sense, I could see it when they were targeting the Orc army. If they had killed it beforehand, we would have been left with a 2-2, so smart on their part. Alright, well, I think the move is clear here. It's Ranger Cap, find Esper Sentinel. Then we will play white mana, get an Esper Sentinel out. We can attack here. And if they go for some sort of combo, we can Ranger Captain, their options here are to draw or play from hand. So I think I'll let them play spells because I don't I don't represent a kill here on the next turn. Okay, so it's a bolt. I guess we might as well just sack this anyway. In response, kill Bowmasters. Alright, well maybe our Esper Sentinel can limp over the line. Okay, so we Demonic Tutor for Bowmasters, try to ambush them for the win. Okay. Here is a Demonic Tutor. And I will look to see if the Dark Ritual can, if we can do anything else with that. There will be no way to give our opponent a life loss other than just Bowmasters. Okay, so then we shock this just because, and now we can hold up Swords to Plowshares. If they were playing Counter Magic, we'd have Dark Ritual to get around Spell Pierce, so I feel pretty good about this. Fatal Push goes out. Let's see if they pay for Esper Sentinel tax. They give it to me, okay. Wonder what this 4-mana is going to be. This is essentially, I don't know why they would do this. Maybe they don't have a way to remove this creature. That bodes well for a resolved Bowmasters then. Create a treasure, you got it. And they are dead if they have no removal here. Resolves. Hit the face, and that's it. We got him. Alright, well, let's see. Why did that work? Our opponent was on mostly just spells. I mean, the Esper Sentinel got us a little bit of value. Thalia was an issue for them. Ranger Captain also an issue. I think we just lined up pretty well. Picked a good hand, and it ended up being effective. You slow the game down, you get in with some creatures, and you are rewarded in this deck. Alright, sweet game 4. Let's hop into round 5. Alright, here we go. This is our final round with Death and Taxes. We get a Thalia out on 2, but with our opponent going first, I think it would be risky to keep that, so I'll send it back. Swords to Plowshares is just my safe card here, pretty much. So I will keep this. Also, I'm really happy to see Archon again, so we'll put back the Gobakon and play a 2-lander. Opponent goes Once Upon a Time. It's looking like this will be Channel on turn 2. Godless Shrine in untapped. We say go. Next turn we have Dark Ritual into Bowmaster's Tutor. Oh, it's just an Oko. Alright. What do I do about an Oko? That's gonna be a problem.
Travel with your king, wild and sovereign and free.
Okay.
Welcome to the feast.
So I can Dark Ritual Bowmasters, get in on the Oko. And then that would be a, if he elks my Bowmasters, kind of a good thing for me. There's Bowmasters. Let's get an attack on Oko. Honestly, I should have maybe pinged the land out. I had my heart set on dealing with the Oko. Didn't really consider that that might be a thing I'd want to do. Let's get a Esper Sentinel out and just swing in. This is a deck that I think is going to want to draw a lot of cards. I imagine they're playing Uro, so we'll want to save swords for Uro, honestly. Them Okoing any one of my creatures is a bigger body, so. Okay, they elk their own thing. That makes sense.
Gaze into my face and put on your true shape.
I might just need a Demonic Tutor to find my 3rd land next turn. This Oko is going to be a huge problem for me. I don't want a Swords here, I don't think. Oh, Skyclave Apparition, that's really good. So let's search for an untapped land. We will use our Concealed Courtyard. Now we have Swords to Plowshares. So we're kind of just sitting here now. Our opponent's going to do what they're going to do. They create a food token, so they're just going for the elf army here. Skyclave matches up really well to Uro and Oko. The only issue is, do they have a counterspell for my Skyclave? Who knows? I'll start with a Thalia then. They might counter this. No, they don't. Then I will hold swords if they kill Thalia. Next turn is just straight up Skyclave Apparition, then we want to lock them down under Archon. I'm prepared to make a Thalia for food trade, I guess.
Surely you see the humor here.
Alright, Courtyard is tapped. And I think, well, Oko's gonna just make a treasure, I believe, right? And the -5 is change control of artifact or creature and target creature. Power 3 or less. So they could take my Bowmasters potentially, I wouldn't really care. They could take my Archon though, and that's bad. I think the move regardless is probably just Skyclave Apparition. They're going to continue to make these foods. I have to hope this resolves. Alright, it does. Nice. So that is one Oko out of the way. I imagine they have 3 more in the wings. Can't attack here. We're in a tough one here. Ooh, and they have Natural Order, so this gets something bad. Probably a Crater Hoof. Can I survive a Crater Hoof? Survey says no. Yeah, this is 30 damage. I mean, I could just put everything in front of one of these and I'd still be dead. Alright. And we've been comboed out by... not really elves. I guess this is just green... not even green, it's Simic Natural Order. Interesting one. I mean, these decks are viable, that's for sure. And we'll finish off with that loss there. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Definitely a very fun deck to play. I think that generally in normal Historic, a deck like this has trouble. People do play Death and Taxes in Historic, but it's not the best thing in the world. I think here, though, there are decks that Death and Taxes stacks up well against, so you might find success playing this. I definitely recommend giving it a try while all the cards are free to play. And yeah, if you want to do that, make sure to check out the deck list in the video description. With that said, drop a like on the video if you enjoyed, comment if you want to help me with the algorithm, and if you are new here, you can subscribe if you'd like to see more content every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. With that, I'm out of here, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.